Hey YouTube, welcome back to a brand new video. Now I'm sure you're enjoying playing Animal Crossing Pocket Camp Complete right now, whether you've just started a fresh campsite or continuing your journey having transferred over your old save file. Either way, leaf tokens are a totally new currency for us and we're all learning the best way to use them and how to obtain them as quickly as possible. So today I'm breaking down a few pointers about these new leaf tokens, some tips and tricks on earning them, and even some tiny features that utilize them that typically go under the radar. Of course, Animal Crossing Pocket Camp Complete has been out for a little over a week now, but I think there's something in this video for everyone, no matter your experience with the game, so be sure to stick around. And let's get into it. What are leaf tokens? Now I'll keep this brief, but in case you're super new, leaf tokens, which can be seen at the very top of the game, are of course the new currency that replaced the previous premium currency of leaf tickets when Animal Crossing Pocket Camp shut down and Complete launched offline. These leaf tokens are earned alongside bells as one of the main in-game currencies and are used primarily for buying what we previously considered premium items or items that would have cost real-life money in the previous game, as well as for shortening tasks, replacing resources, or speeding up in-game mechanics and getting things done quicker. The good news is they are far more obtainable in the new version of Animal Crossing than their counterpart was in the previous Pocket Camp game. What's more is their value is significantly higher, meaning we earn more, obtain more, and redeem less of them so they go further. This will make much more sense as we highlight their uses and extra ways of earning them, but essentially given there's no profit in them for Nintendo now, the game itself is much more accessible and everything, and I mean everything in the game, is much easier to unlock because of it. And just as I've said in previous videos, this brings Animal Crossing Pocket Camp Complete much more in line with mainline Animal Crossing games, making it much more fun to play. Where to spend leaf tokens. Now we'll get to how we can earn leaf tokens faster and cover some of the methods you may have missed, but first, where can leaf tokens actually be used? Well, the short answer is everywhere. The most notable is of course using leaf tokens to obtain what used to be known as premium items. These include things like the furniture, clothing, and other limited time items that are available during event periods that typically rotate on a monthly basis, as well as the fortune cookies, which are of course available from the cookie stand found at the marketplace. However, they can also be used in other areas such as replacing resources when crafting if you ran out of a particular material. They can also be used to buy fishing nets or honey to attract extra fish and bugs if, like me, you're too lazy to catch them yourself. They can be used to buy extra happy home vouchers, essentially replacing golden HH vouchers if you want to do more design challenges. They can be used to bring Gulliver back quicker if you're on the clock, or even buy extra goodies when he does arrive. Leaf tokens can be used to shorten crafting times in a variety of ways through Cyrus, saving you time if you need things sooner rather than later. They can be used with Lloyd to enter Shovel Strike Quarry multiple times if you enjoy smashing rocks. They can be used to fertilize flowers in your garden to make them grow faster. They can be used with Blathers to trek maps and earn bonus materials if you want to. And you can even use leaf tickets to purchase new terrains for your campsite for as little as 80 leaf tokens. And that's not even including event-related benefits such as using leaf tokens to catch more critters. So it's pretty clear that leaf tickets have simply been replaced with leaf tokens. So if there was a way leaf tickets could have been used, leaf tokens now do the job. Except now it's free. And before moving on, to highlight quickly just how much more valuable leaf tokens are, a box of 5 fortune cookies, for example, can be purchased for only 25 leaf tokens, where previously they would have cost 250 leaf tickets, which translates to around $15. And given how easy leaf tokens are to obtain, 25 leaf tokens for a box of fortune cookies is nothing. You could spend all day opening fortune cookies now now if you wanted to. In fact, it costs less to buy Animal Crossing Pocket Camp Complete now than it did to buy one box of 5 fortune cookies in the old game. How to earn Leaf Tokens. Which brings us to the important stuff. Where can you earn Leaf Tokens and how can we obtain them as quickly as possible? Again, the short answer is simple. Play the game and level up. Leaf tickets were widely available in the previous Pocket Camp game and the game was totally playable. However, they were not available in the large quantities they are in the new Pocket Camp Complete because Nintendo wanted you to buy them. That's no longer the case. You can now obtain Leaf tokens from everywhere. The most notable way of earning Leaf tokens is by taking part in the monthly events, such as the fishing tourney that's taking place right now. Whilst playing, simply check your diary or planner and you'll see simply by taking part, you can easily earn batches of 50 Leaf tokens multiple times per day. Just remember, 50 Leaf tickets used to cost over $3. In fact, this month's event will reward players with around 1,000 Leaf tokens simply by playing and completing the event, and that's without any additional event goals that might be available at the time. So if you do nothing else but complete the events in December, you'll earn 1,000 Leaf tokens, but there are many other ways to obtain even more Leaf tokens. You can get more Leaf tokens simply by leveling up. For example, I'm currently level 253, and when I level up to 254, I'll earn some bells and another 50 Leaf tokens. Of course, the higher level you are, the longer it takes to level up, but there are some tips we'll discuss at the end to speed up this process too, earning you even more Leaf tokens. You can also earn extra Leaf tokens by working with Lottie and doing some design challenges at the Happy Home Room Showcase and increasing your rank. I recently leveled up and earned another 50 Leaf tokens. One of the easiest ways to earn Leaf tokens though is by sending Gulliver and obtaining maps. Several maps have been updated to include batches of Leaf tokens and sometimes you can send Gulliver away 2 or 3 times in a day. It's super useful. Another easy method, especially for a new player, is of course completing stretch goals. These are one-time milestones that reward you with various resources including Leaf tokens. Even if, like me, you transferred your data rather than starting a new campsite, there's lots of Leaf tokens to be earned here. But a fairly hidden feature that I know has gone under the radar is the ability to simply buy Leaf tokens using your bell balance, which is awesome given bells are even easier to come by. Every month you can exchange up to 50,000 bells for 100 Leaf tokens simply by pressing the Leaf tokens balance at the top of the screen, and I have a feeling this will be increased in the future for players who have leveled up much higher than average. Seems that appears to be some of the common feedback for Nintendo right now. And the final method of obtaining Leaf tokens that I believe occurs is through your friends at Whistle Pass. Every day a friend will hand over some freebies and occasionally you can get some bonus Leaf tokens, I think. Again, there's probably even more ways of obtaining these that I haven't even experienced yet, so if you've discovered a new way, be sure to let us know in the comments below. Tips and tricks. Now, I think we've covered everything there is to know about Leaf tokens, and even some ways they can be earned and spent that you may not have known about. But for the sake of completeness, or Pocket Camp completeness, if you're looking to level up faster in order to obtain bonus Leaf tokens faster, the single best trick is to utilize low-level villagers. For example, use calling cards to bring level 1 villagers to vacation spots and do tasks for them. If you don't have any calling cards, use request tickets to do extra requests for them when you find them to increase their level faster. If you don't have any calling cards or request tickets, invite the lowest level villagers you have to your campsite or cabin and use snacks to raise their level as much as you want. This will of course raise your own level and unlock extra goodies including Leaf tokens. Of course this is much easier at the start, but this method still works for me and I've accumulated almost 1,500 Leaf tickets in a week doing everything we've discussed in this video, and I've even spent some. Now before we wrap things up, I would just like to add, don't worry too much about getting enough Leaf tokens to buy all the limited time items available on any given month, because they are all in full rotation now, so will appear again in the future. And if you can't wait, you can always purchase them from the complete catalog anyway using a complete ticket, but that's for another video. By all means, grind for Leaf tokens and earn as many as you can, but make sure you have fun playing and spend them on items you know you'll love. Animal Crossing Pocket Camp Complete is much slower paced game now, and we don't need to worry about the idea of missing out on things. Everything is obtainable now, one way or another. So there we have it, that is the complete guide on Leaf tokens, how to use them, where to obtain them, and a few tips and tricks along the way to help you get them as fast as possible. But what do you think about this new currency? How many have you saved up, or are you spending them as soon as you collect them? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you made it to the end of the video, be sure to post tokens in the comments just to let me know you did, and leave a like if you found this video useful. Thank you so much to the Patreon and channel members. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.